try to keep the department as professional as possible, and you don't want to make the department a stepping stone for officers going through academies and then going ahead and going someplace else because they can do better or get better money someplace else. Go ahead and make sure that you keep that qualified staff. As for your contract staff, once again, we have to look over the current state of what the contract staff is there. Prefer to try to use local contracts as much as possible, so we get the most out of the tax dollars.
Mr. McNicholas.
First of all, let me say, they let the secret out the bag. Probably everybody knows it, but me and Charlie Cornell, former sheriff, came up with this plan, and he didn't want to be sheriff. He said, Bob, I'll back you for sheriff, and I'll be your undersheriff. Yes, he could be gone the next day, but you got to have some honor and trust somewhere where you can believe somebody when they say so. I think people know me when I say something, they understand. Now, if elected, I'm going to be a working sheriff just like Charlie was. Accountable to the people, phone number available, problems, concerns, just a good job, fine, give us a call. Yes, Charlie is going to be the undersheriff. I feel with his 6 years of experience as sheriff in Jackson County, we probably can't go wrong. People like the way Charlie did things, and it's just going to be continued. Now, I get elected, everybody has a clean slate at the sheriff's office. I don't know them, they don't know me. Let's get to know each other and see how it works out. That's all I can really say. I just expect the staff to work as hard as I do. I don't think that I'm wrong in saying that. The support group, the 911, the jail, it's going to be big, and Charlie was there, so like I say, we're going to look at everything and try to stay within the budget. And Charlie's a person that knows how to stay within the budget. So, like I say, Charlie was the reason I'm doing this. He thought I could do the job, and I hope that people will agree with him, and I thank you.
Sheriff Morris.
We have agreed with Sheriff Darrell. Raise your hand. Darrell Chapman, our undersheriff. He's a vital force in making the sheriff's office a more efficient and modernized department, and he's respected by law enforcement countywide. He's a very hard worker, works day and night to make your family safe. When we took office, there was no capital outlay money, and deputies had not received the proper training to keep their certifications. We received an extension from the state and had to provide 2 years' worth of training in 1 year. We also experienced a 3% mid-budget decrease, and after updating agent and broker equipment with grant monies and asset forfeiture monies, we were still $100,000 under budget. We were able to save county taxpayers by buying smarter and having competitive bidding practices. We move away from the practice of always buying from the same person. Most of you, when you have to buy something at home, you look for the best deal, and government shouldn't be any different. The sheriff's office is pretty lean after having to cut their budget year after year. However, we realize the state of the economy, and we must be fiscally responsible. In mid-December, we took back the administration of the jail after he had run as a separate agency for around 7 years. And the jail had been actually $600,000 in the hole. Private businesses all across this nation had to make cuts and lay off workers in order to continue to exist. We were not of the belief that government should be exempt. We had to make the tough decisions to reduce the department's personnel by about 30%. We cut hundreds of thousands of dollars of expenses in order to bring the jail out of the red. It appears now that we are on track, and we do expect a surplus by year's end. The past condition of the jail was attributed to cuts in county services, and was also blamed for the reason that county employees hadn't received a raise in years. My plans are not to increase the number of employees, but are to continue to promote an atmosphere where employees want to work and serve this county, and I intend to provide them with the best training possible and to provide our citizens with the best services possible.
What would you do to maintain or improve the sheriff's office relationships with other city, county, tribal, or state law enforcement and emergency service agencies? And the first question here goes to Mr. Shields.
I believe with working with other emergency service agencies, it's vital call to the overall safety to the county. I would like to continue the meetings that they have between the different agencies throughout the county and local and federal levels. Find out what the needs are for the departments and not find out what you need after when disaster strikes. A lot of times where everybody's behind the eight ball and stuff, and it goes all the way up the ladder. You also need to have a lot of interagency training so you can get everybody on the same sheet of music if in case of something occurs. They do offer this from time to time on major disaster stuff, but it isn't only just for that, it's also for law enforcement and school shootings and stuff like that. You have to have a lot of interagency training for that, so when you have agencies coming from the outside, they can kind of gauge in what's going on also. I've dealt with different departments throughout my career, and I've made several contacts, not only here locally, but through the nation, for when I went through on training purposes. We had several resources I can fall back on and still maintain, like I said, our low budgets as much as possible. Final, like what I wanted to say, I want to make sure that this day and age, we all know that nothing's a sure thing except for it's, you see it happen day in, day out. Major events will happen sometime in the county, and it will happen here too, just like every place else, and we need to be ready for this in case something, in case of something ever comes up. I hope it never does, but we never can play that thing. That's all. Thanks.
Mr. Hunt.
For this question to be one of the 4 questions that one of the sheriffs came in and asked to answer, tells me apparently the sheriff's department relationship with other agencies was not good at one time. And it's hard for me to understand that because it's been my experience that the sheriff's department and all the other agencies complement each other. We are all on the same side. We all have budget issues, and we all want to provide quality service. I feel the sheriff's in a position that he can help make this cooperation work. The problem is usually lack of communication. The sheriff needs to meet on a regular basis with these other agencies. And I guess the question he needs to ask is, how can we make this better? Now, I had a good working relationship with the KBI and the other local, state, and federal agencies during my career. And I understand the importance of having a good working relationship with the other agencies. With the economy the way it is and our budgets being tight, it's even more important now. I think we all need to put our egos on the shelf. It doesn't matter who gets the credit, we just need to get the job done.
Sheriff Morris.
When I came to office, I found that the agencies were not working very well with one another. The sheriff should be the county-wide leader to bring these agencies together, and I found that multiple agencies were chasing the same criminals, but they were not sharing information between agencies. I led the county in bringing about a law enforcement administrators meeting where the sheriff, the undersheriff, the county attorney, the chiefs of police meet. These meetings provide sharing of valuable criminal intelligence information and discussions concerning various legal updates. These meetings have proved to be very valuable and have resulted in the imprisonment of criminals. One example is the shutting down of a drug distribution house across the street from Holton Elementary School. This is the first time where I remember the Holton Police Department and the Jackson County Sheriff's Office jointly investigating together. The ringleader of this drug house is currently in prison. I believe the sheriff should be there to assist the smaller agencies in helping provide resources, training, manpower when needed. The sheriff should be the one to bring agencies together and work to prevent useless turf battles between departments. The relationship between the sheriff's office and other law enforcement agencies in the county, district court, juvenile intake, and the prosecutor's office is the best I ever recall. Not only are we working well together at home, but all 6 surrounding sheriffs, I can consider as my friend. We are working in some form of partnership with all 6 surrounding counties to better serve our own communities. Atchison County Sheriff John Calhoun told me, Tim, Atchison County has not had this good of a relationship with Jackson County for over a decade. The sheriff administers the 911 dispatch center. Local fire and EMS departments have had little to no input in how the center was run. After taking office, I formed a fire and EMS communication board to help oversee that part of the center that serves them. They have been instrumental in updating protocols designed specifically for them. They've also helped with quality assurance and helping correct our mistakes to provide a better service to our citizens. Again, I can recall no other time when the sheriff's office and fire and EMS works well.